An international manhunt is on tonight for the 29-year-old man who says he is the one who exposed the government's secret surveillance program.
This entire story is yet another slap in your face by the family members that we've been exposing. The individual that's the suspect in this fake story, you may recognize him as Tyler Clemente, the college student that killed himself after his roommate videotaped him with a webcam and put it online. So that's relevant because of the fact that they're talking about your personal security and the government spying on you, and yet they use the actor that, of course, killed himself because he was spied on by his roommate. We also find this actor in the Riley Harmon bat mitzvah photographs along with the rest of the family members, such as Ross Perot and Warren Buffett, and so many that I can't even name them in this video. You have to see it in my other videos where I've gone through and named most of them. He sounds like Mark Zuckerberg if you listen to his voice, which you'll hear in a moment. And he should, because that's his cousin. Well, Mark doesn't exist, but Jacob Michael Greenberg does, who was at the party also. Let me explain the scam. Whenever your family needs a large lump of money, you just roll out your relative, Warren Buffett, to announce a couple stock picks, and the stock goes up 30% the next day. Now, the SEC doesn't know that there's any insider trading because you recognize these people as their pseudonym names, so they do all their trading under their birth name, and there's no link between that name and the name that is in the public. Pretty good scam, huh?
What he told the Guardian newspaper in a story published last week caused a firestorm of controversy over privacy and national security. Edward Snowden has been identified as a civilian contractor who worked at the National Security Agency, and yesterday, from halfway across the world, he stepped from the shadows, admitting he was the leak. And tonight, the U.S. government is hot on Snowden's tail as it investigates whether he broke the law by...
And make sure that you keep in mind with all these fake events, always comes the fake charitable website for you to donate your money to. That is a standard with all their events. That's how they pay their actors, with the incentive. Plus, of course, since they're family members, they won't talk, but it sets up a nice little fund depending upon how heart-wrenching the event is.
Sharing classified information. NBC's Andrea Mitchell is working that story for...
From now on, when you see this talking head, know that the story that is associated with her is fake.
Pennsylvania.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii.
Focus and idea. The goal wasn't to make a huge community site. It was to make something where you could type in someone's name and...
Now remember, the whole storyline behind this person and being a whistleblower was he was telling about how the government is spying on you. And yet, of course, his cousin is Mark Zuckerberg, or Jacob Michael Greenberg, his birth name, and he runs Facebook. It's another slap in your face right there.
Who is the man who exposed some of the National Security Agency's most sensitive secrets?
So at this point, all you need to know is that this is fake, that all these facts about him are just a bunch of bunk to get you all thrown off or to sell the story to you, make you believe that he's a real person, when he's not. He's one of the family members.
Guardian.
I'm just another guy who sits there day to day in the office, watches what's happening, and goes, this is something that's not our place to decide. The public needs to decide whether these programs and policies are right.
Focus and idea. The goal wasn't to make a huge community site. It was to make something where you could type in someone's name. And
reason why he felt so compelled to inform his fellow citizens about the capabilities this massive surveillance apparatus provides.
So you're basically just seeing them profit from this story, because any of the stories that they create, of course, they don't have to spend money on because they have all the actors in-house, so they can just shoot everything they need to do and produce it beforehand. They know what's going to happen. Also, take note of the logo at the bottom. The NBC News logo is behind the bottom footer. That's because it was produced somewhere else and then handed over to the News Bureau, who then put their bottom footer on.
Secretary canceled a trip to Washington today to defend cooperating with the NSA.
This relationship has been and remains essential to the security of both nations.
But to a band of supporters in New York today, Snowden is courageous. Julian Assange of WikiLeaks called him a hero. Michael Moore tweeted, "Hero of the Year." Many experts agree the NSA surveillance power could be narrowed.
We need to make an informed judgment about whether it's time to build more liberties and civil liberties protections into the law.
And since they have to keep it all into the family, the individuals that you saw them reference, as in Julian Assange and Michael Moore, they are family members as well. This organization cross-references and cross-promotes constantly. If you're interested in finding out more about my work and are interested in learning about who the individuals that I've exposed in my posters are, you can go to visuals on WellAware 1 and you can actually search by the actors and find the videos and also find the exhibit boards that I've produced.